All right, so another trip around the sun every year. We rush into these crazy resolutions, much of which we don't even stick to. Personally, I don't understand New Year's resolutions at all. Why would you not wake up every single day and try to make a change? Some of these people, they do something so radical that it's impossible to adhere to. And I'm going to put this in perspective in just a minute, but think about it. How many people actually stick to a New Year's resolution? And more importantly, and this is why I can't understand this, but why the other 364 days a year, you would not wake up every morning and take it to the max? Why would you waste those days? Think about it. We should be living every day as if it is our last one on Earth. We're a ball of very thin rock floating over lava, 70% of which is covered in water. We float aimlessly in a vacuum of space where the temperature ranges, I don't know, between like 400 degrees from sun and shade. We're 93 million miles away from our nearest heat source, and in between that, there are other chunks of rock flying around at like 30,000 miles per hour that somehow miss us. The Earth is 4.5 billion years old. Humanity is only about 100,000 years of that. Modern humanity, maybe 2,000 of that, and America is 250 years old, which is actually when history began. Electricity, engines, transportation, all that's less than like 150 years old. Cell phones are barely 25 years old, and yet despite all that, we stand here today. The fact that you and I are lucky enough to be alive at a time that this is the headline in my local newspaper. Quote, leaf blower noise in Greenwich among top issues facing town in 2024. And I thought to myself, wow, we've reached peak stupid. But I guess I'm not surprised at this. Society has developed into such a soft version of itself with modern amenities. We have it so good that we don't even have real problems anymore. We have to invent them. The question is not if we can get food, it's which grocery store do we want to get it from. We have TV with thousands of channels with meaningless BS, yet we complain there's nothing to watch. We're the first country in the history where the modern primary health concern among poor people is obesity. It was so good last year in 2023 that we invented things to be mad about. It was a race to the bottom to see who can be more oppressed, where people, some of whom who just had their student loans forgiven, by the way, scream violence because you won't play with their make-believe gender pronouns. And meanwhile, half the world is worried about clean drinking water. And you think climate change is the greatest existential threat to mankind? Hey, wake up. Other countries are burning millions of tires. Look at that. How ridiculous do we sound as a country that we think we can somehow exert our moral authority over the entire world? And even more ignorant, that we think if we can skip a cheeseburger, we might somehow lower the Earth's temperature by a degree. I mean, it's just dumb. This is enforced by the same people that slept with children on Jeffrey Epstein's island. By the way, that list is coming out this week, and it is going to be a doozy. Welcome to 2024, I guess. But what else do we have this year in store for us? Well, coming up, the bottom is about to fall out of the real estate market. Values are massively overinflated, and 1/5 of most corporate real estate will require refinancing this year. What does that mean? Well, for most of them, they're paying like 2 to 4%, and now they're going to be refinanced at like 7 to 8%, which almost doubles the cost of the total monthly payment. You think they're going to eat that themselves? No, they're going to pass it off to their renters. Bye-bye. People are going to move out. Markets are going to crash. Not like 2008, I hope, but I see a similar scenario. The stock market might not get away scot-free either. Look, the market has been going up, and it's been inflated for years. At the start of COVID, we had this like major market correction, but then it just bounced right back. It's been pretty consistently going up through Biden's presidency, despite all the bad economic indicators. It's like everyone in the market, on these trading desks, they're sitting around with like a half smile, waiting to see who's going to flinch first. And the first indicator of that, I think, is going to be oil. Remember, oil has been artificially held low for years because Biden's draw on the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, which is now at a record low for my lifetime. But the world has started to cut us off from their oil supplies too. Biden has openly bragged about cutting our own production for some reason. Those electric charging stations need fuel for their generators too, Joe. And that bridge is going to break. And I think this is the year you're going to see it hurt. When spring hits, when people start climbing out of their winter habits, a perfect financial storm is brewing. Democrats are going to make this year so politically unpalatable. They're going to promise that they are the only ones that can fix this. They are going to make Donald Trump, they're going to try to make Donald Trump so incredibly toxic. They need you to be suffering, though, to sell you more crap policies, making you rely on the government, fostering class warfare. Don't be fooled by this, folks. Don't be fooled by the same media that thought they should impeach Trump for, like, I don't know, farting. But Joe Biden and his family can take $30 million from foreign sources through a litany of dozens of shell companies. But they can't seem to find any reason to investigate him for that. And the media has carried water for this administration since day one. And I just can't understand why. I mean, they're paying more for gas, too. Their tofu and yoga classes also cost more. What in their mind is the reason that they are so much in the tank for Biden? And I'm hoping in 2024 they kind of wake up and start reporting how things actually are, especially because I don't think he's actually going to be the candidate ultimately. And I think I'm going to make a bold prediction here, but with all the controversy swirling around with money transfers, his son's tax evasion charges, probable contempt of Congress for Hunter, and the rest of the laundry list of things, I think the Democratic Party is going to try to bump him off the ticket. Now, does Joe Biden go along with it? I don't know, 50-50. He's not really a team player, folks. Everything in Biden's life has been about Joe Biden. He's smarter than everyone else. Just ask him.
Because I've acquired a hell of a lot of wisdom. I know more than the vast majority of people. I'm more experienced than anybody's ever run for the office.
No, he's not. There's a real possibility, though, he doesn't bow out. At which point, the Democratic Party will then be forced to release all the dirt they have on him in an attempt to get him out. And they're going to probably, all the Democrats are going to vote for impeachment and removal in the Senate based on all that dirt. In that case, I say the Republicans should not vote to remove him and just watch the Democratic Party go down in flames. The other 50% chance is that he does actually dip out completely, blames his health or his family or whatever, and I think Newsom or someone like him steps in, which leads me to my next prediction for 2024. None of that matters, because Trump is going to walk all over these people. They have screwed everything up so royally. I mean, unbelievable. Markets, real estate, media, especially, stupid people have just taken this to the next level. Trump is going to blow Biden out of the water, or whoever else steps in, because it's bad. And one of the most important reasons he's going to have an electoral landslide is because for the last 3 years, he's been quietly suing states to make sure that our elections are going to be as accountable as they possibly can be. And he's been winning. So buckle up. I think it's probably going to get worse before it gets better, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Happy New Year.